What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel Clearly Crypto, the channel where we want to know more, grow more, and reap the benefits from it. For today's video, we have tons of stuff for you, information about crypto across the globe. We have information about Ethereum, Binance, some special stuff near the end, especially a really special article here at the end. Don't want to miss out on that. I thought it was very interesting myself. Before that, though, I do want to thank you guys so much for being here. I know that the channel hasn't grown too much as far as subscribers, so make sure to get subscribed if you're not. I do come out with these daily videos for you guys, just different news and knowledge for you, breaking down that news so that it's a little bit easier for you to understand, for all of us to understand anyway. And I can see that our videos are starting to pick up on views a little bit. Yesterday's video looks like it's already at 40 views, so thank you guys again for that. Can't do this without you guys. I know that my wife would kill me if she was the only one that was hearing about crypto these days, especially with me starting to read so many articles about it. I have talked her ear off about this since I've gotten into it, and it just feels really nice being able to spread the word with the other people on here. I finally got the courage to start this channel. So again, thank you guys for being here. But don't want it to be too long. Make sure to get subscribed here. Go ahead and give me a follow over on Twitter. That's going to be another place where you can get a lot of my opinions, where I'm getting information, different things that I'm learning about trading, different things on charts in the market. I'm trying to research as much as I can about chart reading. That way I can help you guys out as well as myself with that. And yeah, all right, so let's move on from that. Like I said, don't want this to be too long. So the first article that I have for you guys, Latom's, which the first thing that I thought of with that was Latom from, if you guys ever seen Fire Force, which, yeah, it just flashes in my head every time that I say that. But Latom's new crypto mining promised land, pluses and minuses for Paraguay. So new crypto mining promised land. So that's the first thing that caught my eye. Pluses and minuses for Paraguay. So country over here, I believe it's in over in Latin America. Yeah, Latin America. Um, as previous reported, the Paraguayan Senate last month signed off on a bill that would regulate crypto mining and trading in the nation. The bill, which has been in the pipeline since September 2021, so since last year, seeks to legalize mining and ensure that miners pay taxes and declare their activities. So they're just trying to make sure that they have more security in their country, that they're getting taxes from it. That way they can, boost their economy. Mining sector could be a major money spinner for the government and power companies, as it says here, like just said. They want them to, these miners are encouraged to set up shop near dams and power plants. As you can see down here, I have highlighted Paraguay has little use for this hydroelectric power, so there's tons of it out there. They're not even using it. These Bitcoin miners are able to use that excess power for something, so I don't see why not. A mere 20% of Paraguay's hydroelectric power actually gets used in the country where it was generated. So, I mean, as you can see here, there's plenty of excess electricity that we can use towards Bitcoin mining. That way, even after everything with the Bitcoin happening, and once the last Bitcoin is mined, maybe we can figure out some way to pay them in this kind of way. That way we can keep the blockchain running. This means that some miners have been wooed with promises that they will be paid as little as 18 USD per megawatt hour for electricity. This is a huge difference from the average price paid in South America, which, per the former energy minister, Mercedes, I hope I said that, Canese, is around 100 US dollars per megawatt hour. So that's quite a big difference that these miners are getting. It's saying that Kenny's claim that this price was too low and claim that energy importers are charged higher rates than miners. I mean, that's kind of on them because they're allowing the miners to kind of talk them into these kind of deals, which like I said before, they're not even using this hydroelectric power. So I mean, I don't see the issue as long as they're getting something out of it. They just need to make a better bargaining on their side. As it says here, regardless, there is evidence that mining could provide new opportunities for certain Paraguayans. The media outlet gave the example of the Billerica, I still don't know how to say that, resident and native Christian cats who has built a business that helps miners connect to the internet. So speaking of people building businesses that help miners connect to the internet, this article talks about how Starlink changes Bitcoin mining and improves decentralization. So this article talks about how Starlink could be used for mining in those other countries. As it says here, when the network experienced a 60% plus reduction in hash rate due to the Chinese Communist Party's attack on Bitcoin mining. If you guys didn't know about that, the Chinese Communist Party pretty much owned most of Bitcoin's hash rate until the government came in and started banning that in China. So it's helping to make it more diversified by bringing the internet to more remote places. As it says down here, highly concentrated energy production sites are typically located in remote areas. Quebec, Canada, and Sichuan, I hope I said that right, China are both great examples of this. Here, the installed hydro capacity exceeds the demand for electricity, and since energy is not an easily transportable commodity, producers with excess capacity find themselves wishing for alternative buyers or assuming wasted energy for their operation. So it's not like they have big batteries that they can just kind of power up and transport out to people whenever they need. It only goes as far as the lines go, and that can be pretty costly to get all of that set up. So this is just talking about how that can be used towards Bitcoin mining. Now, it's not talking about just like a mom and pop kind of going out there for a multi-million-dollar mining farm. Accessing a corporate internet satellite service won't be much of a problem, as the size of their venues would make such connectivity costs appear minimal on their income statements. In contrast, this leaves the likelihood of the average Joe living close to stranded energy locations out of the question. So that's just talking about how it would take a bigger company to actually make it to where this is profitable just because of how much it would cost to have that Starlink connection out there and for it to be powerful to run it all. So if you guys are curious on how much energy it does take for these chains to run, this is an article about how Cardano ADA beats PayPal, Netflix, and YouTube in annual energy efficiency. So this is pretty crazy to see how much less Cardano actually uses compared to these two, especially since Cardano is one of those chains I hear that's trying to come out with like a video series, I believe it is, with like the Clay Nations and all that, where they actually are playing like TV like stuff. But this shows that with 0.0027, that is, I believe, terawatts per hour, annual consumption, ADA is more energy efficient than PayPal and YouTube. In comparison, payment giants PayPal consume 0.26, so that's 0.0027. This is 0.26 TWH annually, terawatts per hour, I believe. Which is almost 100 times the electrical energy of Cardano. The data further reveals that Netflix consumes about 94 terawatts per year. So that's a big difference right there between that to 94. And then further on, YouTube uses 244 terawatts per hour. So it goes from 0.0027 to 0.26 to 94 to 244. Now that's not the end of it. If you want to know about Bitcoin, it says down here, which it says up here that Cardano Daily admits that Netflix and YouTube have enormous streaming minutes. It noted that Cardano would still not consume as much energy if it handled an equivalent number of transactions. So they're saying even if they had the volume that Netflix and YouTube have now, they would still continue to use less energy than they are. So I wonder exactly how much that would be. With Bitcoin, it shows that a study shows that Bitcoin uses 131 terawatts annually. At this rate, it uses more electricity than Argentina, Holland, and the United Arab Emirates. So that's pretty crazy that they use more energy than a whole country for Bitcoin. But it is understandable with how many people are out there trying to run miners for it. So moving on from that, I have another article about Cardano. With Cardano, Cardano can now be bought directly with Japanese yen to new listings. So this is really big for Cardano fans out there. Japan is really big into crypto. You'll know that, or if anything, you'll remember. If you haven't seen my ISO 20022 video, definitely go out and check that. But I talk about how Japan's been into the ISO 20022 standard since 2013. So they're definitely into the blockchain space. They're trying to make sure that they're one of the front runners for this. It says in here that one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, OK Japan, is the one that actually started listing ADA on their exchange. The start of ADA spot trading on Japanese exchange is September 1st. So I'm curious to see if there might be a little bit of a pump in Cardano whenever it gets onto the exchange September 1st, when all interested investors will be able to trade the cryptocurrency against Japan's national currency, the yen. So they'll be able to use pretty much their fiat money or their just their regular money from the country to purchase ADA. Now, not only that is on their exchange, they have Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, those two are obvious, but they do have XRP. They have a total of 17 pairs available on that exchange right now as far as crypto goes. But down here, let me see, will definitely benefit the project. The terms, yeah, we talked about how it's going to help out Cardano. But down here, XRP is very popular in Japan, which in the past video I did talk about how Ripple went over to Japan to talk to one of the biggest cities. I believe it was their governor. To talk to them about all of this. So the banks are even launching XRP rewards program banks are even launching XRP rewards programs to attract new customers, and large e-commerce businesses are accepting cryptocurrency as a means of payment. So this is showing how XRP is actually being used over in Japan to pay for stuff already. And they have a rewards program with their banks, so that's really cool too. They're pretty innovative over there compared to other countries. Moving on from that is more about how crypto is being used as payments. We move over to China with this. It talks about how China begins next phase of CBDC testing with ECNY payment for public transport. So this is just the payment system that they use for their stablecoin. As it says down here, China officially began rolling out the next round of its central bank digital currency pilot test program. In the city of Guangzhou, sorry if I said that wrong, I'm sure I did, it is now possible to pay for public bus rides with the digital yen ECNY. CBDC on 10 transit routes, which is a first for the country. So to do so, they basically just download the app, they deposit funds, and then there's a QR code that they're going to scan in order to get right. There's 125 stations that currently have that scan that they can use, and Ningbo is the 9th city in China to roll this out as a pilot test. It's simply scan and pay for the journey. So that makes it pretty easy, makes it pretty simple for anybody to use. That's good to see. And then just last week, it became possible to pay for employee housing fund contributions in in that same city with the CBDC. Um, Also, the government partnered with food delivery giant Meituan. Sorry if I said that wrong too. And e-commerce platform JD.com to create a ECNY airdrops that can be spent at listed venues. So they partnered not only with public buses, they now have a way to pay for your food, a way to pay for, I believe that this is like, it says it down here, I believe, June 20, over 6 million unique users, so a ton of users are using this, had ordered services with the ECNY funds on that, that is the e-commerce platform. Meanwhile, as of July, oh no, is that no, that's the food platform. Okay, so that's 6 million unique users on the food platform. Meanwhile, on the e-commerce platform, said that it had processed more than 4 million e-commerce transactions worth at least 900 million CNY. So that's 131.6 million dollars in US since it began accepting the ECNY as tender. So this is really huge, guys. This is showing these other countries using their stablecoin successfully, using cryptocurrency successfully to pay for stuff, and it's actually helping out. Moving on from this, another cool innovation over in China, Tencent gets patent nod. Tencent gets patent nod to use blockchain for missing persons notices. This was really cool to see. So with this, what this is Chinese tech giant Tencent has received a patent for blockchain-based notices for missing persons. So they're trying to solve the missing persons problem. They're trying to help it out. So it's showing that how crypto is not only helping you with payments, but they're trying to help with missing persons. This is how big blockchain technology can be. This is how much stuff that it can actually solve. So it says down here, the patent is designed to enable data generation upon a request when a person has gone missing, which would be a broadcast on the blockchain for verification. So not only do they get reported missing, but they make sure that it's a valid report. Once verified, the notice is stored on the node to be published for a wider audience. And as you guys know how fast the blockchain can be with many of these different ones that are out there, if they were to pair up with a really quick one, this could make it tons of times faster to find people out there just by going through all of the rich data that they have. So now, moving on from this, like I said, this was a really cool article. I just wanted to show off exactly what all blockchain is doing. Now we're going to go ahead and get off of the global stuff, move over to Ethereum. I wanted to show how even in the bear market, that blockchains are still innovating. Ethereum is currently the most actively developed crypto. Polkadot ranks second. So that's big news for Polkadot's fans that even during the bear market, they are ranked second as far as development. So development activity tracked by I'm having trouble saying these names today. So Santiment, I think it's Santiment, like sentiment, but Santiment is based on publicly available GitHub repositories. So it's only tracking the tracking only focuses on development-related events. So it's not foolproof tracking. This is just what they're tracking it through that means, but it still does show quite a bit. It shows Ethereum, Polkadot, Kusama, Cardano, Status, Cosmos, Internet Computer, so ICP, Decentraland, Flow, IOTA. So if you guys didn't know about any of these tokens, this is something showing you that they are building on these blockchains, on these different projects. So these are ones that you can look into. It looks like these are people trying to make it through the bear market and could be winners at the end. So moving on from this, Ethereum will be offered by Binance to trade for ETH for free on Binance with Ethereum merge 22 days away. CZ says trade ETH for free on Binance. So this is really cool to see. I love that Binance is doing all kinds of stuff for different cryptocurrencies. I just talked about in yesterday's video how they're doing a educational program that's teaching about XRP and actually giving it out to the people that go through that program. So that was really cool to read about. And now they're doing this. So as Binance announced earlier today from Friday, Binanceans can trade the ETH BUSD spot pair without having to pay any fees. So from Friday, that would be in 2 days, they're going to actually start that. And you can go into this tweet and click into this link, and it will tell you quite a bit on the different levels, because I know that you can be like a paid, you have the free account and then a paid account, like a pro account or something like that, and they have different levels on what it does for you exactly during that period that they're going to be doing it, because it's not just going to be Friday on, it's a certain time period that they are doing this. So I'll probably leave the link to this article down in the description, that way you guys can get to it. But along with that, I saw that Crypto Mason actually shared this, showing that MasterCard and Binance are working together. So more huge Binance news. I know that I'm a big Binance fan myself. I do use a couple Binance projects to indeed kind of compound interest on my BUSD. I'm in a couple projects. I'll probably talk about them later on. I want to make sure that I'm doing well in them before I brag and show anybody about it. And I'm not trying to shill anything to you guys. I'm just trying to talk about things to help you guys out, to kind of lead you in a direction to help you win at the end of this bear market. As well as, keep you informed, because a part of the crypto market is word of mouth. That's a big thing in here, where if we're not all trying to get the information out here, then, I mean, we don't educate each other is what I'm trying to say, then we're never going to know. I mean, you never know if I didn't come out with this video. And that's one of the reasons why I definitely came up with the courage to start making these. So not to get off subject too much, so like I was saying, MasterCard and Binance are working together. It shows right here that Binance and MasterCard partnership will launch a crypto prepaid card in Argentina and will be widely accessible soon. So it's pretty cool that they're going to be starting this in Argentina. I'm interested to see where else it will be available. I know that they're a little bit more strict here in the US as far as Binance goes. A lot of the time people don't use Binance down here just because of the extra restrictions that they have on it. I know a lot of people that use things like KuCoin or Crypto.com. Unfortunately, I know people that use Coinbase as well, but Binance is still an option too. Honestly, I need to do a little bit more on that exchange just to see exactly what all I can do. Maybe it's changed a little bit since I've been on there. But yeah, just so that you guys know, they are starting up a MasterCard partnership. So they're going to have a card just like Crypto.com, just like Coinbase. It looks like all of them are trying to have a card now. So moving on from that, just to put a little bit of a warning out there for you guys, that you do need to make sure to look into the projects that you're getting into. NFT exchange PseudoRare suffers $800,000 rug pull 6 hours after launch. And I wonder if it is actually dimming the screen in the video. So sorry if it's dimming the screen on here, guys. It's just because it's getting a little bit later over where I'm living, over here in Arkansas. So yeah, sorry about that. But it talks about how PseudoRare suffers an $800,000 rug pull, guys. So what a rug pull is that they basically got all the funds into the project. They launched it up. Everybody paid into the project. And then they basically shut everything down. And this happened 6 hours after launch. It explains a little bit more down here how it had gone offline on Tuesday, 6 hours after launch, with tokens worth over 800,000 removed from the platform's wallet address. So it was taken directly from the wallet address. They believe that it was probably the developers, since it was, just taken from the address and spread out, and then they all kind of dipped out. It says down here that it was an anonymous team. So you guys want to make sure that you're getting into projects. I know a lot of people don't like to do doxing. which is just basically them getting out there and telling people exactly who they are and verifying that that's them working with the project. That's one thing that I definitely look out for whenever I'm getting into projects, because I mean, I'd like to know exactly who's behind it, because you never know, it could be a nefarious player, and this is exactly showing what can happen with that. So it was an anonymous team, and the team deleted all of the social media accounts and related websites moments after the event. So like I said, a rug pool is like, this pretty much sums it up right there. It has an anonymous team most of the cases, and then right afterwards they just kind of shut everything down. They take everything down like it never happened, and they just run away with money. They got away with Ethereum, looks rare tokens, and USDC. So they got away with quite a bit, and then they went and swapped that for ETH on Uniswap. So it was pretty crazy reading about this. I just wanted to bring it up just to forewarn you guys, let you guys know that you do need to be getting into projects I would recommend that are doxed. So moving on from that, BenDAO proposes emergency changes during liquidity crisis. So more NFT news here. As you know, BenDAO I talked about a few videos ago, I believe it was, where they are the ones having trouble with the Bored Ape Yacht Club being liquidated. Let BenDAO lets borrowers deposit NFT collectibles, including Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club, to receive up to 40% of the asset value slash floor price as a loan denominated in Ether. Depositors who lend out their ETH earn interest. So it's a platform where you can lend out your NFT to them. You get 40% of that value of the NFT so that you can go use it for whatever you need to. And then if you're somebody that just wants to deposit your ETH into the project, then you earn interest on it. So the BenDAO lenders can no longer withdraw their money, and NFT borrowers will need to pay 100% on ETH they have borrowed. So they've gotten a little more strict on their policy since the market has went down, since it has become so volatile, and Bored Apes are getting so close to liquidation. This proposal has changed it to give them a little bit more wiggle room. They passed it with 97.13% votes going in favor of it, and basically this drops the collateral threshold from 85% to 70%. So it's going down 15% here, just to make sure that they have a little bit more wiggle room before those Bored Apes get auctioned off. I don't believe it's going to be too much with how volatile everything's been at, but I believe that they've done enough math here to make sure that Ethereum's not going to hit a bottom like that, or that the Bored Ape Yacht Club, because I believe it goes by their actual floor price on OpenSea as well, making sure that that floor price doesn't get too low as well. So the proposal also plans to shorten auction periods from 48 hours to 4 hours, and remove the bid limitation of 95% of the floor price auctioned at OpenSea. Not too sure about that part, because it talks a little bit more about here. Liquidators must bid within 95% of the NFT's current floor price. So not exactly too sure about that. I believe it's just giving them a discount on the auction of it. So borrowers have 48 hours to determine if they can repay their debt to claim the NFT with a 5% fee paid to bidders. So they do have the option to actually pay off the bidder before they get their NFT liquidated and it goes to that person who won the auction. So the proposal plans to adjust the interest rate also on loans from 100% to 20%. So this is going to encourage depositors to lend money by earning interest. So it's going to bring up the interest rates for loaners. And it's also going to make it to where people can repay. They're making it easier for these guys to repay off their loans, so that they're not gaining so much interest. And they, like I said, they have a little bit more time, a little bit more wiggle room to get this taken care of. So moving on from that, this really cool piece of news, MakerDAO opens $100 million DAI loan to Huntingdon Valley Bank. I had to say that a few times to stop saying Huntington, but it's Huntingdon. And this is really cool because it's showing how MakerDAO has actually approved, who has actually given out a loan to a bank in Philadelphia, as you can read here, and it's the first commercial loan participation between a U.S. regulated federal institution and a decentralized digital currency. And this is just to support the growth of existing businesses and investments. They've been trying to do this since March, and it's finally going through. So this is really exciting for crypto everywhere that MakerDAO was actually able to give a loan to a bank. So crypto was able to give a loan to the banking system. So decentralized is able to give money to centralized. Pretty crazy to read about. And the last piece of info I have for you, the last article I was really excited to find. I could not believe that there's Bitcoin stocks out there, Bitcoin mining stocks. So for those of you stock investors out there, for those of you guys that are big into stocks, this would be an article for you. I'll definitely leave it down in the description. But it talks about how these stocks are rallying up because of how everything is going with the market, how there are starting to be more Bitcoin miners out there. It talks about how the company Hive Blockchain stock went up by 10.75%. It's on the NASDAQ. So these companies are on the NASDAQ. You're able to go out and trade them on the regular exchanges instead of having to go into cryptocurrency. So this is a way that people can actually invest into crypto without actually investing into crypto. So you can go and invest into a stock on the regular stock market instead of having to put your money onto a crypto exchange. So if that's something that needs to be an option for you, that here's this option for you. And it has a few different companies in here: Hive Blockchain, followed by Marathon, Bitfarms, and then Mawson. Oh, and Digital Host, Cipher Mining. So there's quite a few. I believe down here is quite a bit of them. Yeah, all of these are going to be mining for you guys, and all of these should be to where you can go out and invest in them. I would definitely do quite a bit of research, that way you know exactly how much profits they're making. You definitely want to make sure that these mining institutions aren't just going to go bankrupt in the next year or so with how volatile Bitcoin can be. You want to make sure that they're running things right. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to bring this article up as a way for you guys to have another option into the life of crypto. So this video has been long enough. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I really enjoy making these, and I thank you so much for being here. Until next time, love ya.